Hi everyone, I hope you're all good. Today I'd like to talk about what to do when you feel a need to move in a new direction as an artist, to maybe try out a new style, a new identity, just new things in general, but you're feeling a little bit trapped because you've already set up your artist identity, your brand online. Maybe you've released music in this style already, so you're afraid that by trying out new things that you're going to confuse your audience, you're going to mess up your algorithm, and it's going to negatively impact your career. So I want to talk about this from an artist perspective and as a human being, things that I have found most helpful, and hopefully this can help you along your creative journey too. Your spirit, your essence is constantly emanating from you and wishing to express itself through whatever means are available. Even if we think about our accents, we speak in a certain way because we grew up in a certain area, we have certain humor, again, maybe because of what we found funny when we were younger, maybe the memes that we were exposed to, and the same with music. The music we're creating is because of the means that we had available to us. So even as an example, I grew up playing the piano and singing. So when I started to write music as a teenager, it was on the piano that I was writing the music. So it kind of started to get swayed into a singer-songwriter style quite naturally because that's what I was able to create. I always had a desire to create pop music and dance. I really liked that. I was really drawn to it, but I had no way of actually expressing it because I didn't know anyone who could produce music. I didn't even know that I could produce music. And it's kind of hard to write a dance song on the piano. I didn't have the other elements available to me at the time. But then when I went to college, I was put into ensembles and there was bass, guitar, and drums. And again, because I had these new elements, I was able to write in a new style. And I just realized that my music was changing a lot. And when I was learning new chord progressions, new song structures, it just started to change even more. And I thought I really knew who I was. I thought that I was a singer-songwriter, I was a folk artist. But literally just by developing new skills, by seeing new perspectives, by having new influences, my style started to change. And I remember feeling that and thinking, oh, well, I'm a singer-songwriter, that's who I am. I think a lot of us like to identify with the version of ourselves that we were in the past because it's familiar, it's what we know, and because we've always been it, we assume that that's our true nature. But really, the truth is, the more skills you start to develop, the more life experience you have, the more proficient you become at your instrument, things are going to start changing. And I would welcome that change. It really is a good sign. It's a sign that you're growing, that you're evolving, that you're becoming more skilled and more learned at what you're doing. So even though you might have an idea of who you were in the past, if it's no longer serving you, I would say bring the parts that do serve you and bring it into the future. But don't keep thinking that this is the version that you are always going to be, because that is limiting yourself and it's limiting your potential. If I always thought, well, I'm a people pleaser and I cannot say no to anyone and I don't try to develop the skills to have boundaries, I'm going to constantly just keep getting screwed over in life. But I can change it. And just realizing that sometimes it's okay to change parts of ourselves, like that we have the potential to rewrite our stories. And don't settle for an identity that is no longer serving you, that you think is limiting your abilities. Because at the end of the day, what is more important? To commit and stay loyal to an artist identity or brand, no matter how under-evolved and limited it might be, or to commit to making the best work that you possibly can and tapping into your full creativity. So this has really been where the magic has lied for me, and I would encourage it because it has been more inspiring. You enter back into the learning phase again and again, and things just become new. Another thing to pay attention to would be what kind of events are you seeking out yourself? If you were to go to a festival, what kind of festival would you like to go to? What artist would you die to see? Who are you listening to at the moment? Because if you're drawn to certain people for certain reasons, it's usually because they're mirroring something back that you see in yourself or that you want for yourself. It might not even be the style of music, but maybe it's their personality, their stage presence, or even their outfits. So I would pay attention to this too, as it's leading you in the direction of what you actually want. On a final note, I would say that your brand, your identity as an artist is going to form very organically based on all of the experiences and the skills you start to develop. So everything that you've done up until this point is not wasted. If you had never released the music in the past, you could have not become the artist that you are now. And every time you've experimented, tried in different styles, that is all laying the foundation for who you are becoming as an artist. So I think it's really important to respect and appreciate and have compassion for the earlier version of yourself who has led you to this point, because it really is a beautiful thing. Keep moving in the direction of what feels aligned. If it feels inspiring and joyful and exciting, keep making music in that direction. But if it's feeling heavy, if you feel like you have to do it and it's burdensome, then maybe it's just time to invite in some new ideas, new thoughts, new styles, and just try out new things, because it really should feel fun. And the best music is really created as a byproduct of just enjoying the process. Like, that's what I found, in my own opinion, to be true. And it has made things easier. I felt like I've aligned with people who are more like me when I'm actually being true to myself in my artistry. And that's what you want, really. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I hope it's been helpful to you. And if you have any opinions or thoughts, do leave them in the comments. I'd be happy to hear them. I think there's a lot of talk online when it comes to being an artist about the promoting side and how to get your music out into the world and get playlisted. But sometimes it's important to check back in with yourself and think, well, am I on the right track? Is this the music that I really want to create? Because if you're going to put so much work into that side of it, you might as well be aligned with what you want to actually get at. So thank you again and have a lovely day.